And volunteers really are that vehicle. And of course, you know, we think about the tiny staff that you all have across the street with you and Tammy and Debbie, and the very small staff that has to get out and do a heck of a lot. And that without volunteers, there would literally be no events. There'd be no Heart Walk, no Heart Ball, no horseback ride-a-thon, events raising $250,000, $300,000, even $400,000 a year. You couldn't do them without volunteers.
Well, volunteers are, as you know, the core of any nonprofit organization, and there's no way that we could do what and have the impact that we have if it wasn't for the volunteers. Mm-hmm. It's just wonderful. When I first started in this business, people would say to me, Bob, as a fundraiser, how can you do that work? Well, what helps me do the work is the understanding that people want their world to work. They want it to be better. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of nonprofits like the ones I work for in the American Heart is it gives them a way to do that, mm-hmm. in an effective way. And so it's the best of all possible situations for somebody like me.
Right. Having raised funds for more than half your life for the nonprofit world, Bob, what do you think is your greatest challenge? We got about 10 minutes. You know, you think about some of the challenges facing you. Of course, mm-hmm. your personal challenge, as you said, learning the organization, learning the community. But after some of that's accomplished or fully accomplished, what do you see as the biggest challenges for you going forward in your position as Director of Corporate Relations for the American Heart Association?
Well, the biggest challenge any nonprofit has, in addition to the work that they do, particularly in the fundraising, is having access to people so they can tell the story. And if you tell the story in an effective way, people will contribute because they want their world to work. But getting access is very difficult. The American Heart has done some wonderful things, I believe, with online giving and that kind of thing, mm-hmm. in order to be able to give people the ability to communicate with others and share their story in a way that they can communicate with lots of people, right. which helps spread the word. So the greatest challenge is always getting access and being able to spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, access to folks, you know, as you're dealing with folks on very busy schedules, oftentimes, you said, you've got to encourage them to look at vehicles like online giving. Heart.org or AmericanHeart.org has got a great vehicle, and of course, through the START campaign. Share with viewers real quick, and of course, having just joined the Heart Association on April 30th, you know, START's very new, not only to virtually everyone in the community, but to yourself as well. Share with viewers about there'd been a Heart Walk for so many years, just a one-day event. Now mm-hmm. it's become an annual event. What's the background with START?
Well, the Heart Walk is, I guess, been around for almost as long as the Heart Association has been around.
Long time, right.
The START element of it is really unique, I believe. And it's about trying to talk to companies and to individuals about changing their behavior, if you will, to become more healthy. And the notion is if you start walking today, you'll live longer tomorrow.
Right.
And apparently for every 2 hours of walking, you gain a year or an hour of extended life, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so they're using the 2-for-1 notion. Mm-hmm. And walking seems to be the exercise that most people will continue, and will that part of exercising, right. You got to do things that you will continue to do forever. Mm-hmm. And anybody can walk pretty much and do it forever. So the emphasis that American Heart has put on that is really coming through the START. So we're trying to work with companies to get them to start healthy programs within their companies that will go year-round.
Right. This ties truly into that, what you called a gutsy move there, mm-hmm. trying to push for a 25% reduction in cardiovascular disease and stroke by a certain year, and to see the improvement. I think you said 23% now, but when childhood obesity is on the radar screen, when obviously even smoking and other things maintain, as well as adult obesity.
Right.
You've got to wonder, will we ever get to that 25% number? I know they're pushing real hard, but getting walk as opposed to just a one-day event, a celebration of raising funds for the American Heart Association, as you say, to make it an annual event is very special and very gutsy.
Right, and you really do it every day. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to get out the door and walk every day, and it has to become a habit.
Right.
And that's really what American Heart is trying to get folks to do. Mm-hmm. So.
You know, when you think about, was it something in your early childhood that spurned that interest in joining the nonprofit world, Bob? What was it growing up? Was it a family member? Was it a loved one, a teacher even, who made you think that the...
Mm-hmm. The moment when I decided to do what I do, I remember I went to school at Ohio State. In Ohio State, you tend to be in very large classes.
Right,
anytime.
yeah.
I was in a class in Ohio State in the balcony, and the professor was talking about the difference between your job and your work. Mm. And your job is that which you do to earn money, to support yourself. And your work is what you leave after you're gone. It's the difference you make in your community and your world. And at that moment, I knew that what I really wanted to do is combine those two. Mm-hmm. And so what I've been able to do is, it's a wonderful way to live your life, but I get to contribute back to my world each and every day. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where I made that decision and how I got here today.
So it was as a college student in Columbus, Ohio, to think about that that opportunity to be able to be in college and to have an awakening like that. Yeah. That's wonderful. Did that bug touch any of your other family members? Any your brother or any of other siblings who?
All of my boys. One of them is a teacher in Columbus. The other works at the Supercomputer Center in Columbus, Ohio. But he is on the city commission and is working with gangs and those types of
really?
people.
Yeah. Great, and, good.
I went to visit him a month ago and talked to gang members on the street corner, and we got them to organize and remove graffiti from parks in the community, and worked on Sunday before I got on the plane, removing graffiti. And so he has that instilled in him and is doing a terrific job. And my middle son actually worked overseas in the Czech Republic, trying to work with closing down nuclear power plants that were unsafe. Visited Chernobyl and places like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah, so they all have...
So all three of your boys have gotten some of that bug from you.
And I think it makes them better people. It makes us all better people.
Mm-hmm. When you think about so many, we talk about interfacing with volunteers, what are some of the things you're looking for most prominently, Bob, for persons in the community, whether it's volunteers or even in a donative fashion, to assist you in your position as Director of Corporate Relations and in the American Heart Association in general?
Well, what I'm working on right now is building teams to work to participate in the walk on October 13th of this year. And essentially, it's not a difficult process. What a company or even an individual can do is say, yes, I want to be a walk team. All they have to do is contact us, and we ask them to commit to raise money and walk on that day, and then walk between now and then and create that healthy lifestyle. And that's what I'm working on. We raise money in the walk two different ways. One is through the walkers themselves and through the teams, and the other way is through corporate sponsorships. Good. We're working really hard on the corporate sponsorship right now, and so hopefully we will raise and exceed our $295,000 goal.
It's a $295,000 goal,
yes,
big goal. Saturday, October 13th. And if a viewer wanted to learn more, they could call the office number. Is that the 626-3939?
That is correct. They could call there. They could call me at 282-2903,
okay,
which is my direct number, or they can email me at robert.mcconnell, MacConnell, at heart.com or .org.
Heart.org. That's fantastic. Bob, thanks so much. I'm sorry we've run out of time. Great having you this morning.
Thank you, Greg.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Director of Corporate Relations for the American Heart Association, Bob MacConnell, coming up next. The date's a simple one, October 13th. The time, registration's 9, the walk's at 10 o'clock. The place, Broadway at the beach. Broadway at the beach in October. What a great time to be out there. Of course, the phone number, real simple, 626-3939. Or you can reach Bob directly at 843-282-2903. Take the time to pick up the phone. You heard him talk about that date, October 13th. 17 weeks away, but it's getting close. You've got the time to get a team together. But even if you don't get a team together, take the time to get out and walk. Walk. Start now. Start walking. Get out there. It could really make a difference in your life. Could add not only 1 year, but 2, maybe even 3 years to your life. Pick up the phone, 843-626-3939. You can be involved in helping fight heart disease and stroke.